안녕하세요. 완소 LA의 레나입니다. 저는 지금 우리에게는 가깝고도 먼 이웃, 이 흑인 문화에 대해서 알아보기 위해서 이 캘리포니아 아프리칸 아메리칸 뮤지엄에 나와 있는데요. 이 역사와 예술 문화, 그리고 음식에 이르기까지 이 흑인 문화만의 특징에는 어떤 것이 있는지 오늘 저와 함께 알아보시죠. 예, 저는 지금 캘리포니아 아프리칸 아메리칸 뮤지엄의 Executive Director이신 조지 데이비스 씨와 함께 나와 있는데요. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. So, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the director of the museum. We're a state museum here in Exposition Park, and I've been the director for almost 2 years. I was on the board of directors many years ago, and my career is mostly in the broadcasting and entertainment business, and I want to do something different, and I'm just thrilled to be the director here at the museum.
So, tell our viewers a little bit about this museum. So, it's African American culture and history.
Yeah, so the museum was started in the mid-'80s. We're 44,000 square feet here in Expo Park. Our mission is art, history, and culture. And we have 4,000 items in our permanent collection. These are items that people have donated or we've acquired over the years. And we have a variety of exhibits that come through here. They're either traveling exhibits or the ones that we curate ourselves or just ones we kind of put together with other institutions.
So, what are the exhibitions that's going on right now for our viewers to check out?
Well, we have a lot of contemporary art exhibits that are going on right now. About 5 that have just opened up through this fall season where we've got great press coverage. Some feature artists that are emerging. Some are more artists that have been around a while. And one gallery has items from our permanent collection, many of which are now gone up substantially in value because African American art has gone up a lot in the last year in the art world. And then we have an exhibit on the 1936 Berlin Olympics, which has never been in Los Angeles before. It's just a lot of great things about propaganda and very interesting. I think we're having a lot of people come in to see that exhibit that have never been to the museum.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much for having us today.
Well, welcome here, and we hope that your audience is always welcome here. We'd love to have them come by.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
저는 이제 뮤지엄 안으로 들어가 볼 텐데요. 오늘 저에게 투어를 도와주실 에린 컬 씨와 함께 나와 있습니다. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. My name is Erin Kerr. I'm a gallery guide at the California African American Museum.
So, what's the first exhibition we're going to visit?
We're going to go look at Ease of Fiction.
Okay. 그러면 이스트 픽션이라는 엑스비션 안으로 먼저 가보시죠. 자, 이제 이 이스트 픽션이라는 이 엑스비션 안으로 들어왔는데요. 벌써 이렇게 아주 흥미로운 작품들이 많이 보이는 것 같아요. So, what is this East of Fiction exhibition about?
Ease of Fiction was curated by a curator based out of New York named Dexter Wimberly, and he realized that as an African American, he really did not know that much about Africa personally. And so he was wondering where he learned about Africa, and it was basically through media, television, and he thought, why is it so easy for us to believe whatever we're told about Africa? We're so comfortable believing whatever we're told rather than challenging it. And so he chose 4 artists who are African artists who have been fighting against stereotypical perceptions of Africa their whole lives. And so these 4 artists are represented in this show as showing their perspectives of what it's like, what African art is, what it's like, because none of them live in Africa now, what it's like to live outside of Africa but still be an African and their different identities. It's about history, it's about identity and culture.
이쪽에 오니까 아주 이쪽 벽면을 다 차지하고 있는 큰 작품이 보이는데요. This is a giant piece.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about this one?
So this piece is by Maleko Magotsi. He is from Botswana. And this is part of a bigger piece of work he's doing called Pax Africana. And so this would be considered like one page. Supposedly there are like 60 works of art just like this one. So yeah, it's huge. And so all of these panels are, I wouldn't say they're telling one narrative story, but they are one painting.
What's the story that it's telling?
It's about education and labor and democracy and who has a right to education and work. And so his history in Botswana is very much like South Africa. And so he's dealing here with, like you see the young girls in the school uniforms, they're doing labor work rather than school work. We see all the women in maid uniforms. So there's a lot being said here. And he has,
There's like a man in suit watching the girls work.
yeah. And the women in the traditional dress, and they're like bowing to the man in the Western gear. So he's saying a lot, and I love the girl in the middle because she's the only one looking directly at us. I feel like he's saying something about the future being related to young women, but that's just my personal take.
She kind of looks wealthy too.
Yes, and she's drawn like hyper-realist. But one of the interesting things is the dogs that the curator Dexter pointed out to me is that in Botswana, the history of dogs is they've been used as a tool of oppression. So they, just like apartheid was used to keep people separate, one of the artist's earliest memories is being chased by dogs. And like he said that a lot of black people who were oppressed in Botswana, dogs are they have a very charged relationship, terrifying actually. But he drew them so beautifully and so peaceful, so you would think he'd draw them. But Dexter said that from what he understood, Maleko said it was very healing to draw the dogs docile and peaceful in their natural state because they're just dogs.
Right.
They're trained to be vicious, and like that human beings are not so different. In our natural state, we're just people.
It's so hard to guess the motivation of the artwork just by seeing the picture because it's so like it's drawn
That's
so
why
pretty.
when the curator was here, I just was on his heels asking 1,000 questions. What is this? What do you think that means? And we'll never really know because it's personal to the artist. But he is saying some lofty things, I think, about education and democracy and women and men and rights.
It's very interesting. And that this is just one page
And
of
it's so
60 more to
huge.
come.
Yes.
Very
yes.
hard-working artist.
Yes. And the title is Pax Africana, which I think is a reference to, if we remember our history lesson, Pax Romana, which was a time of peace in Rome. And so it's sarcastic because Africa has never really had peace in terms of always being split up and the resources being taken. So I'd be interesting to see the rest.
Maybe he wanted to say about the moment, like very like short, brief moment.
Or looking
of
for peace.
Yeah.
Absolutely.